Hey, it's Kelly. Welcome back to my channel where we talk all about how to glow from the inside out. And today I want to do a morning chatty skincare routine. It's been a hot second since I've done a chatty routine, has it not? We are well overdue for one. I apologize for that. And today I do want to talk about building confidence, specifically 5 tips that I have used for me personally in building my confidence. And you know, if you love skincare and you love self-care, definitely hit subscribe. If you haven't already, come join our skincare community. That's what my channel is all about, right? It's all about how to glow from the inside out. So I want to share with you these tips. Some of them I think are actually kind of uncommon, but I also want to show you some of the new skincare products that I've been using. Some, definitely some new fresh stuff in here, as well as some classics as well, because you know me, I can't give up my classic holy grails. So if you're so ready to dive into this morning skincare routine, give the video a big thumbs up and let's get started. So I'm starting off this morning using Prequel Gleanser to wash my face. I do have some oil buildup and skincare from the night before, so I definitely want to gently cleanse that off, and this one's been really nice. It has this jelly-like texture and it's very gentle. So next up, I'm going in for the Make Prem Relief Me Essence Toner. I'm gonna be doing 2 layers of that to rehydrate my skin. So my first tip for boosting confidence is really about a glow up. Now, I do have a chatty routine where I talked about inner glow ups, and I am a really big fan of inner glow ups. And that's, you know, really when you're talking about like your personal development, your mental health, and your outlook, right? How to glow from the inside out. So you can check out my chatty routine where I talk about that. But, you know, this tip I am really talking more about an outer glow up. You know, sometimes just those little kind of perk me up things that we can do to our appearance actually can help us boost our confidence. And you know, little things like deep conditioning your hair, right? I always like to do that like once a week. I always love how my hair feels like so soft and silky and shiny afterwards. Going in for my second layer now, you know, even things like a quick mask. You know, I really love the the Reedle Shot Hydrogel masks because, you know, they are quite pampering. You can wear them from like 40 minutes to even up to a couple hours. Some people even sleep in them. But I always get some really nice results right after I take them off. It's definitely not a quick mask, but it does give that nice kind of plumpness and smoothness to the skin that definitely, you know, before a special event or something can definitely give you that sort of outer glow up that you might be craving. You know, speaking of like masks or treatments or just kind of like quick little things that you can do. Last night, I actually used this multi-acid milk peel from Prequel because I've been testing out a lot of their products and I'm going to be doing a review. But I wanted to tell you about this because this is like an AHA peel. It's like 15% AHA. It's actually quite potent, but I actually did it last night and I feel like my skin looks a little brighter. It feels a little bit smoother. And that's what I'm talking about with like an outer glow up. You know, maybe you can change your haircut or hair color just a little bit, or maybe, you know, you get your nails done. I don't personally get my nails done, but I always try to keep them, you know, in like a good manicured state. They are actually bare right now, which is kind of rare for me. But I always try to keep them, you know, just like really classic and neat, and trimmed and polished and all of that, right? So whatever your style is, you might just want to kind of like step it up a little bit. Like today I'm wearing this like really cute red dress. You can't really see it, but I just think it's like a really kind of fun, you know, sort of way to just sort of like step it up a little bit, feel a little bit more confident in my skin without having to go for like something really crazy, really expensive, really over the top. Sometimes just those little perk me ups on the outside can make you feel a little bit better about yourself. Next is the Mary and May Vegan Blackberry Complex Cream Essence. And I'm gonna do 1 layer of this. I like this one because it offers a little bit of moisture to my skin, but it still feels lighter and refreshing for this still very hot weather that we're having. So my second tip is actually to complement other people. There is actually such a beautiful power and a confidence that comes when you are able to give compliments and give positiveness, right, back to other people. You know, oftentimes when we talk about confidence, we talk about our own positive inner talk, and that is very important. But sometimes getting outside of our comfort zone a little bit and being able to give confidence to somebody else can really boost our own confidence, you know, and this could be, you know, your partner, your friends, your family, your coworkers, people in your circle, right? But I think that there's also quite a confident power and confidence boosting power in just complimenting strangers. Now, I'm sure we've all had at least one, you know, time where somebody out in the wild, out in public, right, said, oh, hey, I love your outfit, or I love your hair, or wow, your skin is glowing, or your shoes are great, or whatever it is, right? And they give you that compliment and you're just like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. That's so nice. And you're just like walking on air, and your confidence is boosted because somebody went out of their way. Somebody you don't even know maybe went out of their way to give you confidence, to give you that positive feeling, right? And it's so wholesome and pure, and it feels so good. So a lot of people don't think about building confidence as giving confidence to others, but there is a power in that, and you will feel good, right? When you do that for somebody and you see how lit up they are from receiving that compliment from you. And it's not about like, oh, you need to give, and that's how you get confidence, but it's actually just that the confidence builds with that power that you have to make another human being feel good about themselves. This is another one from Prequel. This is the Multi-Quench Plumping Hydration Serum. I've really been enjoying this. This is polyglutamic acid. There's ectoin in here, which you know is one of my favorite, kind of like low-key favorite ingredients for dehydrated skin. And I definitely am feeling a touch of dehydration lately in my skin. So I've been playing around with this one. Like I said, I've been testing a lot of these products. So you're seeing me, you know, in action here testing this out. It's got this really great lightweight gel texture, and I'm going like, I'm trying to strike a balance between my light gel textures today and some more like creamy moisturizing layers. So follow me along on this adventure. Now, the third tip that I have for building confidence is about your physicality. It's about your posture. This one is deceptively simple, I have to say. But a lot of us have terrible posture, myself included. I have the worst, like, gremlin posture ever. And I have been actively working on it for over almost 2 years now. I was gonna say a year, but it's actually been more like 2 years that I've been working on standing up taller, keeping my head up higher. I think so many of us, especially because we're all buried in our phones, we do tend to have this sort of like, not only just like our shoulders are like up and over and slumped, right? And our backs are like curved like that, but also our necks are just always constantly looking down. And of course, if you're not feeling confident about yourself, have you ever been in a situation where you're like, I just don't feel comfortable? Like maybe you're in a crowd of people you don't know, or you just feel kind of on display and it's really uncomfortable. And what do? You look down, right? Because it's like, if I look down, nobody can see me, which isn't true, but that's how it feels, right? It's a way for us to protect ourselves from feeling vulnerable. And so there is a confidence. It's hard to break that if you are this type of person. It's hard to break that if you're always looking down, if your body is always kind of bracing like this, if it's always kind of closed off. And another thing I will say, not just about standing up tall, right, and squaring your shoulders back in, lifting up your head, but also closed off body language can not only tell people that we're not feeling confident, right, or that we're closing ourselves off, but it also makes us feel less confident. I often find myself doing this even when I don't really actually mean to. And I think it makes people think that I'm unapproachable because I'm constantly, right, closing off my body. Often it's just because I'm cold. Not today, but often I'm doing this because I'm cold. But it looks like, please don't talk to me. Please don't, right? And so it's open, right? And when you look open, you look more confident. When people think you're more confident, you think you're more confident, right? It just builds and builds and builds. This is the Erborian Skin Therapy Eye Cream. And this is a pretty like traditional kind of like medium silky eye cream texture. My under eyes have been feeling a little bit dry, especially first thing in the morning from waking up. And so I do like this one. There's some ginseng in here. It's mostly, I feel like moisturizing. I don't know that it's really very brightening or that it's really helping with well aging necessarily, but I just really like the nourishment that it brings this area. Like I said, I do tend to get a little dry under my eyes. They can get, especially from allergies. We've had the Canadian wildfire smoke in my area for quite a few weeks now, and it really is making my eyes really watery, and when they get watery, they just get kind of like dry and dehydrated. So this is definitely very replenishing. I'm gonna move into my next step right away before I move into my next tip. But this is, I always say, kind of controversial. I know a lot of people are like, you really do that in the morning, even in the summer? And like, yeah, I do. Not every morning do I use Stratia Lipid Gold and the Aromatica Rosehip Oil. I don't always do this step in the morning in the summer, but especially because I did that more intense AHA treatment last night, I want to really make sure that I'm treating my skin well, really replenishing it and really nourishing it so that, you know, I don't have any barrier issues from using more aggressive exfoliants like that milk peel. So tip number 4 is a little bit different, but stick with me here. It's moving your body. I actually find that a lot of confidence is either built or kilt in our physicality. So you know how I was talking about with posture, even just when you feel like you're looking down and you're closing yourself off, you feel unconfident and you feel like you're closing yourself off. Well, really getting in tune with your body and how it moves and feeling comfortable and not like awkward in your skin is actually a huge part of confidence. And you know, I will say in my 36 years on this planet, I honestly didn't start feeling confident in my body and in my skin until I was in my like mid-30s, quite honestly. It definitely is a process, and I think that it's constantly changing as well. And different things that happen in life are going to change how we feel, not only about our body, but how we move our body and how we move through the world in this meat suit, as some people would say, right? But I guess what I'm saying is, you know, any way that you move your body and you express your body. So yeah, exercise, but also like dance and stretch and just like getting comfortable moving your body, moving your torso, moving. A lot of people have a hard time moving their hips, right? This is definitely not something that you need to be doing in public. This is definitely not something that you need to be broadcasting, right? I know that like moving your body for a lot of folks feels hella awkward. It definitely can, especially if you're awkward in your body, right? You don't know how to move it. I would just suggest stretching. Yoga is actually an amazing way to tap into your body and how you move it and what it can do, right? And also learning its limitations. But I think, you know, over time, stretching, exercise, dance, yoga, movement can actually help us learn. I think it actually plays into the posture and the body language actually quite a bit, but it also helps us learn a grace and an ease in our physical bodies that a lot of people don't have, and a lot of people who don't feel confident have. And I do think that there is, like I said, there's a real link between like confidence and also, you know, physical movement and how we express our body and how we present that to the world. It's not about looking a certain way. It's not about being certain sizes. That's not what I'm saying. It's actually just about how comfortable we feel in our skin. And if we don't feel comfortable even moving our body, if we feel awkward, like that is going to broadcast out, right? And that's going to make us not feel confident. It's going to make other people see us as not confident. Okay, I have to show you this cream. This is the VT PDRN capsule cream. And whoa, this is, first of all, skintertainment. Like this is so gorgeous. Look at this cream. This is so cool. So this is like a gel moisturizer with these cream capsules inside. And so these capsules, they actually look like they would be very hard, like you would have to like break them, but they're actually really soft. They're just these little like plops. Do you see these like plops of this really luscious, silky cream inside of this gel moisturizer, and it's so cool. So this is, like I said, total skintertainment, but I actually really like the effect of, I did not think I was gonna like this. I thought I was gonna like the novelty of this, do you know what I mean? But I didn't think I'd actually like this moisturizer, and I do, especially for the hot weather. Like I said, I'm trying to find that balance between the oils and creams to nourish my skin, but also kind of keeping things light. And so, you know, between this, the Multi-Quench serum from Prequel, the lighter toners and stuff, this is kind of adding in that balance for me and my like just whack combo skin. So look at this, with the spatula, just like grab one, you just need one capsule and a little bit of the gel. Oh, I think I got a little bit more than one capsule. I broke another one. Oh well. Look at that. So cool. And then you can mix it together on the back of your hand. Do you see it, that cream? Amazing. And then the gel, it's super refreshing, but it's got like a really plump type of texture. It's not super thin, it's very plumping. And then you just mix it. How fun is that? But it's actually exactly what my combo skin wants right now. It wants all that gel, all that plump, all that hydration, right? But then that creaminess, that silkiness, it feels so cooling and refreshing when you put it on too. I know I sound like super excited about it, but I just am. It just feels really good. And I haven't been super excited about a lot of skincare products recently. I have been using a lot of the same stuff. I just needed a little bit of a break. My skin needed a little bit of a break, especially in the summer. I do tend to go through some, like I call it summer bummer, some sun-stunned skin. My skin just gets a little bit more stressed out. It just kind of likes what it likes, and so I've just been keeping things really consistent. So release shame, release negative self-talk, your inner critic, right? Your inner saboteur. I'm really talking about that voice that we all have. And for many of us, it can be quite loud. That is telling us that we're not good enough, that we're not worthy, that we don't deserve these things, that we're not good enough, that we're too much, that we're not enough, right? You're familiar with this. We all have it. And this is definitely like the number one thing that blocks us from feeling confident, and for really kind of like going out there, right? Because like, why do you want to be confident? At the end of the day, right? It's to go out in the world and achieve what you want to achieve, right? It's to go out and to experience what you want to experience, to live the life that you want to have, right? To go for it, whatever it is for you, right? Confidence is a part of being able to take those steps towards it, right? And oftentimes the thing that blocks it has nothing to do necessarily with how well conditioned our hair is, right? Or necessarily about feeling comfortable in our body, or about our ability to tell other people things that we like about them, and to give them confidence and to give them compliments, right? But oftentimes the number one thing that's blocking us from any of that stuff, right, is really just that inner voice that tells us that we're just not good enough. Or we have these stories about ourselves, you know, these negative self-talk stories, these self-fulfilling prophecies. You've heard that before, right? Where you tell yourself something so much inside of your head that it's like it almost becomes true, because like you're almost like reverse negative manifesting it, right? If you constantly tell yourself that I'm no good at relationships, right? If you're constantly like, I'm no good at this, I can't have this, I'm not good, I'm not built for it, I'm not whatever. Well, if you say that to yourself enough, it's going to become true, because it's all that's in your head, and then you're manifesting that, right? So then you won't be good in relationships, or you won't take the steps to improve your skills, right? In relationships, or your ability to connect with other people on a meaningful and deep level, because you're broken, right? I've heard so many people say that, and every time anybody ever says that, I'm always like, hold up, we got to stop that right now, right here. You are not broken. You are a whole person. You are whole, you are worthy, right? Because everybody is. But if you tell yourself enough times that you're not, you're going to believe that. We all have our hangups, we all have our stories, we all have that voice in our head. For some of us, it's louder and it's in full control all the time. It's got a really tight grip on us. And others, we have been able to say, hey, I'm hearing this and I don't like it. And I'm aware of this, and I just want to lessen the grip a little bit. No, I don't think there's anybody on the planet who has ever actually achieved completely eliminating that voice. But it's about mastering that voice and recognizing where that voice comes from and recognizing that that voice will come up, but that doesn't mean that that voice is true. That doesn't mean that you have to listen to it every single time. It doesn't mean that it has to run your life or that it has to block your confidence. So I'm gonna go in for sunscreen. This is the Haruharu Black Rice Moisture Airyfit Daily Sunscreen, which has been a surprising hit of summer for me. This is often one that I recommend for colder weather because it does have this really interesting moisturizing texture to it. I call it almost like kind of balmy. It's a bit occlusive, but it actually has been an amazing one for summer because it doesn't, it's not a really wet sunscreen, I guess is how I'm describing it, and it doesn't offer a ton of shine. Now I do have some good glow building layers underneath for my skincare routine, but this isn't going to like push me over the edge and make me look greasy. And it actually acts as a really nice makeup primer as well. I often skip out my primer step when I'm using this sunscreen because my makeup grips to it so nicely. And I just really appreciate that finish about this sunscreen. So like I said, surprising hit of the summer. How do we release that inner critic, the grip, that death grip that it can have on us in our mind? It is, I think, a lifelong process. But I think one of the best things that we can do is be aware of it. Be aware of it. The first step, I think, is just being able to go, hey, I'm thinking something real negative right now. I'm thinking something not really nice in my mind. And I'm aware of that. I'm not even saying that you need to stop it or that you have to, you know what I mean? Like you have to so just being aware that that voice is happening, I think is really the first step. So whenever something negative pops up in your head, you can go, hey, I'm realizing that's my inner saboteur. That's my inner critic. That's that voice. And wow, is it really loud, right? It takes a lot to not let it control you. It takes a lot to be able to not just recognize it, but then to say, okay, thanks for sharing, but please go to the back of the classroom, right? Like, please take several seats. It takes a really long time to do that. So I guess, like I said, my first tip for you would be to just recognize it when it happens, because oftentimes it's just happening and it's just on a loop and we just go with it and we don't really go, hey, wait a second. Why is that happening? You know what I mean? This is happening. Why is it happening? And can I make a different choice, or can I change this thought? So those would be the next steps, right? Besides just recognizing it, would be confronting it, would be questioning it. Even just being aware of it can start to interrupt that story, can start to interrupt the pattern, can start to interrupt the voice. Once you can start to interrupt that, then we can start to change the story. So it could also be something as simple as like, well, I'm not worthy or I'm not good enough to be in this new position at my job. Like I'm in a leadership position or something, like I've been giving a lot of responsibility and I don't feel good enough to do this. Let's break it down, right? You got this promotion for a reason, right? So somebody believes that you can do it. So let's start to challenge, the truth of this. Where is that coming from? Somebody believes in you, right? So you've demonstrated something, break it apart. And then where does this come back from? Like, where do we start to feel not confident in our role or not confident in taking leadership and responsibility? Does it go back to a time in college, a time in high school? Is it something that happened in your family? You know what I mean? Like, go back and try to figure out, where does this kind of start and where can we start to kind of mend that story to be a bit more positive. This is the thing that gets in our way, that stands in our way and blocks us from being confident and going after the thing. If you can even chip a little bit away at that and you can kind of push through that a little bit more, over and over and over again, your confidence is going to build. The more your confidence builds, the voice that used to be really loud telling you can't do it starts to actually get quieter, because the more your confidence builds, the more you take those steps, right? The more you put yourself out there, this voice doesn't have as much weight, right? Because now we have the evidence, and now this voice starts to become a little less important, a little less true, because it's not true. It's just anxiety. It's just fear, right? So that starts to go down. This starts to go up. It's this balance, right? So at the end of the day, it's about balancing out that confidence, right? And then that inner critic. And we always want to have it to be at least like this, if not like that. But even if you can go like that, that's huge progress towards building confidence. So this is a morning routine, but I am going to use the Abib PDRN Collagen Lip Mask Glazed Jelly because OMG, I love this stuff so much. Another one that I didn't think that I was going to like, but I really do enjoy this. It has totally a glazed jelly type of texture to it, but it also really kind of plumps up the lips. It feels very moisturizing, very soothing, gives a nice little shine to the lips as well. And it does have a little bit of fragrance, and it's really nice, kind of like this sweet and soft vanilla scent that I actually really do enjoy. So that's it. I'm ready to start my day. I hope you enjoyed this chatty routine. If you have any tips for boosting confidence, let us all know in the comments below. If you love the video and for whatever reason you haven't hit subscribe yet, please come join our skincare community, especially if you love talking about skincare and self-care at the same time. I love you so much. Thanks for being here with me today. And I just want to encourage you to keep shining your light confidently. I love you so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.